Welcome to Missing on Monday, where the details of a new missing persons case will be explored each week. Some of the content covered may be sensitive. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, welcome to Missing on Monday. This is your host, Candace, and sadly, today I am hosting all by my lonesome. Ashley will not be joining us for this episode, but that is okay. She will return, and I have a great story for you guys this week. Just a little heads up, we are going to take, I know we just had an accidental break. It was not on purpose. So I'm making sure that you have an episode today, but we are going to take a holiday break so that we can spend some time with family. There's family that's going to be coming in from out of town, and they will be here for the week, and we just really want to be present with everybody. So with that being said, we are going to get into our story this week. It will probably be a little bit shorter because, well, you know, me and Ashley won't have our little banter on the side there. So we are going to talk about Chance Englebert. Chance was born December 3rd, 1993. He is missing from Gering, Nebraska. He went missing on June 6th, 2019. At the time, he was 25 years old, stood 5 feet 10 inches tall, about 195 pounds, light brown hair, and hazel eyes. He does have a scar on his hip, and on the day he disappeared, he was wearing a short-sleeved Wrangler shirt, Wrangler jeans, and Roper boots. I bet you guys cannot guess what kind of guy this was. And he was also wearing a black and white trucker cap. Chance is a true country boy, if you have not figured that out already. He is super family-oriented, loves to rodeo, hunt, fish, even demolition derby. He actually has his own demolition derby car, which he often worked on, and it was a total family hobby. So Chance grew up on his family ranch in Burdock, South Dakota. He had been a bareback rider since the 8th grade and went to college at Laramie County Community College, located in Cheyenne, Wyoming, on a scholarship for bareback riding. He earned a degree in diesel mechanics and welding. At the time he went missing, he was actually living in Moorcroft, Wyoming. Chance and his wife Bailey, 20 years old at the time he went missing, they had met a couple of years prior. They met on some kind of online dating site. I wasn't able to figure out which dating site that was, but, you know, that's just kind of the way it is these days. So they met, fell in love. They got married in October of 2018. But even as early as their wedding, apparently there was some strain between the families. I don't know if it was between the families in general, or if it was between Bailey and his family, or vice versa. But according to Chance's best friend, Matt, he was actually the best man at Chance's wedding. And they also worked together, so they saw a lot of each other. It seemed that maybe Bailey was upset, or there was some kind of conflict with Chance's family being there at the wedding. There is no solid answer that we could find as to what the problems were. But in all of the research that I've done, I can definitely see that there has been some conflict between the families early on in the relationship. So they had their son Banks, which, what a freaking cute name. He was born in May of 2019. So they were only in Nebraska visiting Bailey's family. Chance had worked at the local mine in Moorcroft, but unfortunately, a few weeks prior to this, there was like 600 workers that were laid off from that mine. Although he did get laid off, he had already secured another job at Blakeman Propane that he and also Matt were hired, and they were both due to start the following Monday. So, yes, stressful time, I'm sure. They had a new baby. He was laid off from his job. They had gotten a house recently. He got a new truck, I guess. So that's a lot of stress. But he's like a real responsible guy. I mean, he didn't waste any time before he got right back into it and got another job. So let's get back to the day that he went missing. He was with his father-in-law and brother-in-law. They had all gone golfing at the Chimney Rock golf course that afternoon. While he was golfing with his in-laws, I guess something happened. Or was said along the lines of him losing his job, so there was some conflict there. He calls Bailey to come pick him up, which she did. They went to her grandparents' house, which is where they were staying while they were in Gering. Once they arrived there, Chance basically told Bailey, like, I am ready to go home, back to Moorcroft. So Bailey went back inside to pack up their stuff. Remember, like, she's packing up for her, for Chance, and for their brand new baby. When she did that, Chance did not go in. He went on a walk to cool off, which, from what I understand, this is actually very common for him to do when he is upset. Totally respect a guy that does that. Like, you know you're heated, go on a walk, cool off, come back when, you know, you can have a conversation and it not be so at a high level. So he left the Gering home on foot around 7:30 p.m. Bailey did go out and look for him. She was not able to find him. Obviously, you know, she tries calling his cell phone. She last spoke to Chance around 7:45 p.m. over the phone. She says that he told her that he was walking south, but he had also contacted friends, and in an interview that was with his best friend Matt, which is one of the friends that he had called, wanting a ride. Unfortunately, Matt was at a 4th of July gathering, and he was not in a condition to drive, which, if I was at a 4th of July gathering, I probably would not be either. Also, let's remember, they're in Gering, Nebraska, but they're from Moorcroft, Wyoming, and this is like, depending on traffic and depending on the route that you travel, I mean, you're looking anywhere from 3 to 4 hour drive to come and get him. So, whatever. Matt tells Chance, like, dude, I can't come get you, but is what I can do is I can come, you know, make a few phone calls, and I know a few people in the area and see what I can do to get you a ride. And during that time, Matt had also called Chance's mom. When he talked to Matt, though, what he told Matt was that he was walking north toward Torrington, Wyoming. My guess here is, from looking at the map, it would actually make sense for him to be walking toward Torrington. I don't think he was necessarily meaning that he was walking to Torrington. I think he just was referring to that direction. Like, I'm going to already start walking that way, so that way when somebody is on their way to get me, like, he can just be closer. He's obviously trying to get away from the situation. And that would most likely be the way that if somebody was coming from Wyoming to get him, that would actually be the fastest route. So I believe Matt, the friend, he called Chance's mom. Obviously, being a mom, his mom tries to call him a couple of times and Chance never answered. And then at approximately 9:08 p.m., his aunt, which isn't really an aunt, but you know how you always have like those aunts that like, they're not a blood aunt, but they're your aunt because they've literally been in your life since like before you were born. That's the kind of aunt that this is. But also Chance used to live with her and they were super close. This aunt, she receives the text at like 9:08 p.m. She says it's a very odd text. It's basically like some numbers, letters, and emojis. It was all scrambled. And then by 9:15, his phone was turned off. So now we're going to kind of go over where he was spotted on cameras by businesses and whatnot. So he was spotted on a camera at 7:48 by Weathercraft Roofing in Gering. And he was possibly spotted on a Ring camera at 8:01 in Terrytown, which is just a town over, but it is debatable due to the quality of the video. No one could really confirm or deny it being him. But also, on another note, if he were in Terrytown, it would make sense because he would have to walk through Terrytown to, like, that's the direction of Torrington, which he told his friend he was walking towards. So unfortunately, that night, there was, like, a crazy bad thunderstorm that swept through the area. Around 9 p.m. is, I guess, when that thunderstorm started. And I guess it was really severe from everything that I can find. So Bailey figured Chance had hopefully just taken shelter somewhere, like at a nearby bar or something like that. Her grandfather also went out to look for him, but no one had seen him. Bailey's thinking at this time he'll probably come back after the storm clears up, but unfortunately, by morning, he had still not shown up, and no one had heard from him. She knew at that point something was definitely not right. Police said the rains during the thunderstorm that night were so heavy and cold. In addition to the dangers of the lightning, police were worried that Chance may have also gotten hypothermia. Officials said that there is also concern of slipping into rivers or streams in the area. Bailey did do a interview with Dateline. During that interview, she said Chance would never leave their baby. He was such a good father. She even said that when she found out she was pregnant, she was kind of freaking out, which she's a young mom. I get it. I was a young mom. It's scary. But he was so excited. She said, like, stupid excited. And Bailey said Chance even was talking about how he couldn't wait to buy their baby a little mini derby car. And I just think that is so sweet. After he goes missing and he's, like, officially a missing person, you know, that storm's real bad. Multiple surrounding agencies searched hundreds of miles on the ground and in the air, but they did not find anything to help their investigation. Chief George Walthress said the search efforts included 147 participating in ground searches, 2,400 acres were searched, 18 agencies were involved, and Airlink logged 280 miles. And the Nebraska State Patrol helicopter logged also 100 miles. Here's the thing. I don't really like to get into the drama of stories, but I mean, if the story takes you there, the story takes you there. So we kind of have to talk about it. A little bit of weird shit, okay? We already know about the drama. It's kind of sad because now this person's missing, and I think in this situation, either the families are going to say F the drama and come together, or unfortunately, it's going to like light a fire under the drama. So, according to Matt, and remember now that Chance and Matt were both laid off from the mine, but they were both hired at the propane company. They both were set to start on Monday, July 8th. Matt did, in fact, go to Nebraska to do what he could to help while he had the time. But remember, he also had a new job to start, because, like, bills. And he has since spent a lot of time insisting in searches and whatever else he could. So anyway, within about a week's time, the HR lady from the new job at the propane company approaches Matt and asked if there is any reason that Bailey would not want them to hold Chance's job. Kind of odd, right? And Matt definitely was like, that's real odd. But he called Chance's mom to kind of let her know the situation of how HR had approached him. And she said absolutely that the job should be held. There would be no reason not to, since it had only been such a short period of time. There was also talk about her wanting to know if she could get a death certificate or when she could get the death certificate. Remember, at this point, he's like a missing person. Nobody knows that he's dead. She was also wanting to pull out his 401k. I agree. Okay, I already know what you guys are thinking. Like, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Here is like a bouquet of red flags. I get it. It does sound really suspicious. But let's think about this here. While yes, it sounds suspicious, also let's remember this is a 20-year-old girl with a brand new baby. They had recently bought a house. Also, she was in nursing school. So, tying all of that in, realistically, was she just in survival mode? I don't know. You always say in these scenarios, in these situations, you have no idea what you would do in that moment. It could have been that she was just grasping at straws, thinking of like her livelihood for her and the baby while all of this was going on. Basically, is what I'm trying to say is yes, I understand that it does seem suspicious, but there's two sides to every coin. Okay? There is this lady named Lindy DeSanto. She has been covering this case and has done interviews with families, with some of the family and friends. She did some interviews with Matt. She actually used to serve as a legislator from 2015 to December 2019 when she resigned. And then in May of 2019, she started a Facebook group and a YouTube page called Lynn Seeks Truth. She has worked on a couple different missing person cases, but this is one of the cases that she had worked on, or has worked on. She showed up at Bailey's house to ask questions, and Bailey called the police on her, filed a restraining order. I don't know. It sounds like a bit much, but also she's a single mom and she's dealt with a lot of harassment surrounding the disappearance of her husband. Just saying there are two sides here, and she was probably trying to protect herself. So, in recent news on this case, there was a gentleman setting up a goose blind and located parts of a human body. They are now being evaluated by the state DNA lab, and they were found near the North, I believe it's pronounced Platte River, which is nearby the last ping on Chance's phone. There is actually another case in the area that they're saying would be another possibility of somebody that they would be looking to see if their remains belong to. That case involves a gentleman named Walter Gene Patterson Black. Authorities searched the North Platte River after he had gone missing in May of 2016. The man had not contacted anyone in several days, and authorities did locate his vehicle in a parking lot of a YMCA in Scottsbluff. It's said that the man believed to have intentionally entered the North Platte River. Basically, at this time, we're just waiting on DNA to find out if it's even him. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the other guy. We don't know. So we're just going to have to find out. And unfortunately, that takes time. The sheriff has been very, very kind and said, basically, though, that until the DNA is back, it's just hard to say. There is still a reward for Chance leading to any information to solving the crime, his family believing that a crime was committed, and it has been raised up to $17,000. We will leave all of the things in the show notes. This is the story of Chance Englebert, and it's a doozy. I mean, I really was trying to stay out of the drama between the families because it is sad. I think it's now affecting Chance's son to have a real good relationship with Chance's family. It's hard. I understand it from both sides. There's just been a lot of fingers pointed, I think. I don't even know necessarily at her, but I think at her family. Like I said, I mean, I could probably talk by myself for hours if I went into all of the drama, but I'm not gonna. I definitely needed it to get added in there so that you could understand some of the context, but we're not going to dive deep into that. And yeah, that's the story. I really hope that they get the DNA back. I don't want to say I hope that it's a match, but also I think after this long, the family deserves closure, whatever that closure is. So, if you know anything about the case, reach out. We will put the contact information. And yeah, I think that's it for this case. Once again, we will be taking next week off, and we hope that you take this time and spend it with your loved ones, just as we're going to do. And we will talk to you guys and have a new story for you in 2022. Can you believe it? It's going to be a good year, okay? Because we're going to make it a good year. Damn it. All of you. But seriously, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all of the things I could go on. Happy New Year. And we will talk to you in the new year. Have a great one.